So welcome to Uval. Today we'll go through working with Monday.com's project management tool for the University Evaluation Group. So first we'll take a brief look at the Monday.com system's composition. So the system is comprised of workspaces, which is this, boards, which would be this, groups, which would be the client, items, which would be these three, and then sub-items, which would be these. Additionally, there are dashboards, which we'll cover later on. So each team will have their own workspace, which can be selected from here. It will look more or less like this. It will have one board and one dashboard. The board will contain all clients as groups and all the needed items or tasks for the clients as sub-items. The dashboard will be a Gantt chart, which we'll go over later. So the system itself will be or is based on different tasks and checking each of these tasks. So these tasks or sub-items are divided into three categories or items, which are the client emails, client meetings, and evaluation. And we can see all the tasks by clicking this arrow and then pressing expand all sub-items. So each task is going to be represented by one row and is going to have different columns, which are lead, status, due date, files, timeline, and dependency. The status column is the most important one. It allows you to keep track of what has been done and what needs to be done. For example, when you send out the initial email, you would change the status to completed. And now you can see that you've completed 1 out of 5 or 20% of the client emails. The status bar also has additional options as well, which are working on it and stuck. The working on it means that you've started the task but haven't finished it, and stuck means that you need help. So for example, if I've sent out the initial email and started the initial meeting scheduling process, I could put working on it for initial meeting scheduled. And if the client doesn't want to sign the NDA directly or wants to know more about it from the managing director, I can select stuck here. Now the stuck option will also always notify Rick Haskell and the project manager that you're stuck and need help. So other columns are the lead, which signifies the person who is in charge of the task. The teams can put members in charge of the tasks as they please. You can also put one person in charge of the whole category. For example, I can put myself in charge of the client emails by pressing in here. You also have a due date column, which shows a rough date when you should be done with the task. You also have a files column, which shows the files that are linked to the task. For example, for the initial email, you have the initial email template and the NDA. Then you have a timeline column, which shows a rough timeline when you should be working on this particular task. And lastly, you have the dependencies, which are tasks that you should have done prior to this task. Then one final function that is very useful with Monday.com is the start conversation function, which allows you to write updates for different tasks. And this will help you communicate with your team members as well as with the project manager. And when you select stuck on the status, it's always a good idea to put some sort of update on the task so that when Rick or when the project manager check out the tasks that you're stuck in, they can directly see what's the problem. So this covers the board's functions. You also have a dashboard, which is a Gantt chart. which you can select from here. So this will show the overall timeline of the program. So you will see the timeline of each item and the dependencies for each item. You will also see the status of each item. So you'll see that I completed the initial email. I'm working on the initial email scheduling or initial meeting scheduling. And this will help you get a sense of where you are in the process and how much you still have to do. Monday.com also has additional features such as a calendar dashboard or a battery dashboard, which can be helpful. So if any team members feel like these would be beneficial additions, you can add dashboards by pressing here and then selecting new dashboard. And then you can modify them to your own needs. So this was it for the quick intro. If you have any other questions of the system, don't hesitate to contact the project manager or Rick Haskell. Thanks.